As of today, January 17th, it's been officially 72 days since Black Ops 3 was released worldwide. While it may seem premature to discuss a topic such as this, any fan of the yearly installation franchise that Call of Duty is will tell you that the leaks and rumors about the next Call of Duty are soon to come out. However, it's my personal belief, and probably others, that this next Call of Duty release will be not only important to hardcore Call of Duty fans, but to all gamers in general. In the eyes of Activision, Black Ops 3 was a success. Treyarch created a very fun Call of Duty with generally positive feedback, but most importantly, Black Ops 3 sold more copies than Advanced Warfare, making it the first Call of Duty in 4 years to sell more than the previous Call of Duty. A lot of people like to say Call of Duty is dying, and technically they are correct. For the last 4 years, each Call of Duty has sold less and less and less than the previous. But like I said before, Black Ops 3 broke that pattern, and they managed to sell more than Advanced Warfare. So is Call of Duty finally on the upswing of things? Are they finally going to sell more each year instead of sell less? Although it's hard to say, if Activision harnesses the momentum that Black Ops 3 has created and goes in a direction which I generally think they should, chances are they could bring Call of Duty back to its popular state to which it once was. Infinity Ward's last Call of Duty game, Ghosts, was unfortunately not very well accepted. Unfortunately, that's kind of an understatement. This game was just hated by a majority of the Call of Duty community, which sucks because it was my second favorite Call of Duty, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is the next Call of Duty, and the shit show that Ghosts brought us is a huge factor in what Infinity Ward decides to do next. So rather than focus on what Infinity Ward should do this year with their Call of Duty, let's focus on what they shouldn't do. And believe it or not, there's only a limited number of options a Call of Duty developer has when it comes to making the next Call of Duty game. So let's start from the absolute least likelihood of happening to the probability not so much happening. So the least likely thing that Infinity Ward has done for this year is, number one, create a new game. So similar to what they did 3 years ago with Ghosts, Ghosts was a new game, it's a new IP, new storyline, new characters, all that jazz. Chances are we're not going to see a new IP called, I don't know, Call of Duty Banshees, whatever, you can be creative. No new IP. So I'm 100% sure that that's not going to happen. I can't say the same about this, number two. So this has a chance of happening, but in my opinion, shouldn't happen. And that is, they create Ghosts 2. Now there's a lot of reasons why this shouldn't happen, and there's a lot of reasons why it should happen. One being, well, the storyline of Ghosts is not finished. In fact, it left us with one of the biggest cliffhangers in Call of Duty history. But on the business side of things, and that's what Call of Duty is, it's a business, it's about making money. Ghosts 1 is arguably the most hated Call of Duty. No one would in their right mind is going to give Ghosts 2 a chance if they didn't like Ghosts 1, because that is how strong the hate is. I personally enjoyed Ghosts 1, I think it's my second favorite Call of Duty. However, when you look at it from a business side and what Activision is thinking right now, no way in their right mind would they try to salvage any reputation they had with Ghosts 1 to create a blockbuster Ghosts 2. It just doesn't make sense. The third thing I want to talk about, and really likely as well, but however it coincides with the fourth thing I want to talk about, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, is they could create Modern Warfare 4. So this would be an extension on the Modern Warfare series. However, like I said, this kind of coincides with what I think they're going to do, as both can be considered kind of the same thing. However, through wishful thinking and concrete evidence, I do personally believe that the next Call of Duty will be a Modern Warfare Remastered / Recollection.
You think I am mad, but soon you shall see that every move, every strike was meant to bring us to this.
The 8th installment to the Call of Duty franchise, Modern Warfare 3, has the most sales out of any Call of Duty. As stated earlier, after this game's release, Call of Duty technically started to die, with of course the exception of the previous Black Ops 3. So how come Call of Duty sales dipped down after this game's release? Well, even though Modern Warfare 3 was Call of Duty's best-selling game, that doesn't necessarily mean it was Call of Duty's best perceived game. A lot of people will be quick to point out the flaws in this game. A lot of people nicknaming it Modern Warfare 2.5 for the lack of innovation and content. So while even though this game can be considered the peak of the Call of Duty franchise, it can also be considered the downfall of the Call of Duty franchise. Now, I don't want to give Modern Warfare 3 a hard time because I personally enjoyed it, but there's a reason Modern Warfare 3 was the peak of the Call of Duty franchise, and it comes from the 2 games before it.
Good kill.
Modern Warfare 2, arguably everyone's most loved Call of Duty, next to COD 4, at least according to the nostalgia lovers. While it may not be everybody's favorite Call of Duty, there is no denying that Modern Warfare 1 and 2 brought content-filled gameplay to the table that not only put Call of Duty to where it is today, but to also put the FPS franchise to where it is today. You may not like Call of Duty, but favorite games such as Counter-Strike may not have been created without the influence that Modern Warfare 2 had on the FPS genre. You would be hard-pressed to find someone who plays video games that hasn't touched the Modern Warfare series. So many people, whether their days short or long, have played a chapter out of Modern Warfare. This game has literally been played by millions all around the world and is the staple of Call of Duty. Remasters are not a foreign concept to us gamers anymore. With the release of next-gen consoles, Xbox One and PS4, we've seen tons of games being remastered. Games such as Halo the Master Chief Collection, The Last of Us, Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Saints Row, Metro Redux, the list goes on and on and on. Globally, gamers have spoken with their wallets and said yes, there is a market for remasters, and yes, there is money in these games. New features, better performances, and improved visuals provide more than enough of a reason to revisit older games. The concept of remasters aren't foreign to Activision leaders as well. CEO of Activision, Eric Ershberg, is quoted saying, "If done well, I think remasters can be great. You talk about nostalgia and people have such connection to the games they love from the last cycle. I would love to play Modern Warfare 1 or the original Black Ops. There's certainly a deep well there. No announcements, but it's something we talk about and think about a lot." So not only do we have an outrageous amount of support within the Call of Duty community themselves for a remaster, we also have Activision leaders stating their facts on a remaster and potentially maybe hinting at a remaster in the future. And for anyone out of the loop, just in a couple days, Black Ops 1 is going to be re-released for Xbox One, so both 360 and Xbox One members can play. So maybe this is their initial step at, putting their feet in the water and seeing the reaction and the population of the community that chooses to play this game. While this is miles away from being a remaster, the reason for doing this is quite simple. Black Ops 1 is an older game, no one's buying it anymore. Why not re-release it for Xbox One? And we're talking about Modern Warfare, even older than Black Ops 1, so a remaster of Modern Warfare would not be negating any sales since it's an older game, there's not much sales to neglect. I really don't see any potential drawbacks to doing a Modern Warfare remaster. I really don't. I thought long and hard, and I can't think of any serious ones that people would bring up to say, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. There's two sides of looking at it. One side is being the fan, the Call of Duty fan side. I've seen nothing but outrageous support and cries of bags of Call of Duty fans for a Modern Warfare remaster. Some say a World War remaster or a World War remake. However, I don't think that's a good idea, but that's a topic for another video. On the Modern Warfare side, I've seen nothing but support. And that's not just within the Call of Duty community. There are people that have played Call of Duty and don't play anymore that have said for sure they would spend big bucks on a Modern Warfare remaster because that's in their idea when Call of Duty was greatest. Activision knows through seeing their titles sell less and less every year that people are not inclined to buy Call of Duty just for the name anymore. They care about what's in the game. They care about the developer. Is it Treyarch? Is it Infinity Ward? Is it Sledgehammer? They care now. Remember how I said you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't touched the Modern Warfare series? Well, look at the other side of the spectrum. It's very easy to find people who have not touched the last few Call of Duties, whether it be Advanced Warfare, whether it be Ghosts. People are not playing Call of Duty as much as they are now. Now let's look at it from the developer standpoint, Activision and Infinity Ward, who will be potentially making this game. So if Infinity Ward doesn't go ahead and do the Modern Warfare remaster, let's say they come up with Ghost 2 or whatever, next in the line is a Sledgehammer, and they've already announced that they will be making Advanced Warfare 2, and so that's 2 years from now, and 3 years from now we have Treyarch. Now Treyarch, they'll kind of be in the same predicament. We don't want to talk about what they're going to do next, because that's too complicated. But you're potentially looking at 3 years. If Infinity Ward doesn't take the option and make this remaster right now, then you're looking at potentially 3 years. Now, Call of Duty, while it's not the super mega blockbuster it once was, is still a pretty big game right now. And if that trend of selling less and less every year continues, who knows where they'll be in 3 years. I think they'll still be in business, but they would have lost a lot of their support and potential buyers than if they were to release the remaster this year. If you look at the point of view from Infinity Ward, you can either A, create a new game, or B, remaster a game. Now, I'm no video game developer, but remastering a game should probably be easier than creating a new game from scratch. I'm not saying it's easy, but relatively it would be easier. Still a hard challenge to pull off and to bring that nostalgia back to everyone that's played and loved the series. To put it in simple words, that's just the way I see it. Everyone wins on every side of the spectrum. The consumer wins, the producer wins, everyone wins. There doesn't seem to be any drawbacks with a remaster. If I was the king, I'd make a Modern Warfare 2 base game and add in sprinkles and dashes from COD 4 and Modern Warfare 3 to fill in the holes. Activision can finally give the Call of Duty community what they want.